Hello, this is our new series study guide. Well, the people at Allendale Strong, we are a learning and doing community. So we have a lot of things that we read, a lot of articles that we go over that we would like to share with you. So you can start to being part of our learning and doing community. So the first topic we're going to start with study guide is racism and infrastructure. A lot of people have not heard or read anything about racism and infrastructure. And that's okay. That's why we're here. We're going to put you on. And two people that I would definitely put on, and this episode is dedicated to, is two cattle commissioners. The first one is Mario Chavez. Second one is Roy Burrell. Why? Well, they did an interview with, was it 710 Keel? Well, they talked about the I-49 connector. And with this one, we're really just going to stick with Roy Burrell's comments. And the comments were, and what about claims that the inner city connector would cause special disadvantage to the black community? He says, let me say this as a black leader and a representative. Let me start right there. You are a representative. Yes, you were elected, but you're not the black leader. You know, you're not our leader. We elected you. But that's just me. I'll keep it right there. But he says, and let me say this as a black leader and representative that's been dealing with this now over 20 years. I am tired of hearing about these so-called black neighborhoods. It was a black neighborhood before the Fair Housing Act. Now you can live anywhere you want if you can afford it. And when you identify something as a black neighborhood, you get less economic development, you get less policing. So it's time out for that type of thinking. Isn't that why we elected you? So we're going to jump right into it. So let's go. All right, people. So this is racism and infrastructure, African American neighborhoods and interstates. So the first one we're going to go over is the wrong complexion for protection. A story ran by NPR in 2020. It talks about how these projects include highways, landfills, incinerators, bus depots, and other kinds of projects that disproportionately fall in minority communities and often cause pollution and harm the health of residents. That says a lot about the projects and the things that they do in our neighborhoods right now, in a lot of the African American neighborhoods and the low income neighborhoods, because there's some brown, black, and actually poor white neighborhoods that are being affected by some of these projects that are causing pollution and health of the residents. The second one is from The Guardian. This was ran in 2018, and it shows how in different communities, highways carved through thriving ghettos, well, we call them ghettos, but neighborhoods, to walls segregating black and white areas. U.S. city development has long and divisive history. Very long and divisive. This right here is another great article that you guys can read up on. Roads to Nowhere, How Infrastructure Built on American Inequality. So all of these websites are going to be down below in the description. Oh, yeah. In a moving video for you. Haha. All right, next one actually goes and talks about the Claiborne, Treme area down in New Orleans. We have interviewed the great Amy Stelly. But this right here is from the Pew Trust organization. This is a research study that they did. It said advocates rally to tear down highways that bulldoze black neighborhoods. And this is something that goes into what Joe Biden and the mayor, we call him the mayor, but he's really Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg, when he talks about how neighborhoods were ran through by these highways and interstates, black and brown neighborhoods, because they were already being not being invested in because they were yellow and red zones, or what we call red lines by the banks. So it was easier to go in and buy these areas for cheap. All right. So it was, it's all like a setup, right? But it just shows you how disinvestment, how we could not get loans, home loans, how the FHA would not even give us the insurance to even get a loan. Even when you had a GI Bill, they will only give you a loan if you were in a red and yellow area. So those end up being the African American or black neighborhoods, just like, I guess, Rubber forgot. I never knew. Hey, we're going to say never knew because this is dedicated to him so he can get that knowledge and he can start to understand what he's talking about now. So this is a great article or blog post by the Pew Trust organization. All right, this is another one by Reuters, and this was put out in this year in 2021. And U.S. freeways flatten black neighborhoods nationwide. Across the country, local officials saw a proposed interstate system as a convenient way to demolish what they regarded as slum neighborhoods. Ha! Sound familiar? Allendale is being called a slum neighborhood. Near their downtown business districts. Wow. Historians say. Historians. They're trying to do it now. With federal government picking up 90% of the cost, freeway construction has made it easier for politicians and businesses to pursue their own urban renewal projects after residents were evicted. I mean, if you can hit it right on the nail, if you can hit a home run with an article, I think this is it. That's just me. Oh, and this is a great book. So we're going to also, in this study guide, give y'all books. And a lot of these books can kind of be repetitive because they kind of hit the mark on different things. But this is probably one of my favorite books. It's Disintegration by Eugene Robinson, The Splendor of Black America, where he goes into how they use interstates to further separate and put borders in cities, and how these borders did not help out and never revitalize these areas that they call slums. And this right here is a homegrown legend right here, Mr. Charles M. Blow, The Devil You Know, a Black Manifesto, where he goes into some of the same things in Disintegration, like Eugene Robinson. All right. So I would love for you all to go into these articles, read up on them, start to understand what the struggle is, start to understand that this is not just Shreveport, Allendale fighting this. This has been fought before, right? And we're also going to get into some other fights by interstates that were fought not just by black, but it was fought by white people, rich white people with money. But guess what? One even got a governor fired. Governor. So that's when you know you got power. That's when you know you probably got money too. So we kind of don't have, we don't like a shoestring budget, but hey, we make it happen because we're in it to win it, but we're also in it to show people what can happen. Not using the old methods, right? That has been proven not to work. And we would love for you guys to tell us what you think. Tell us what you think about the articles that we read. Leave comments, share, and also subscribe. We always have podcasts that goes out. You can catch Allendale Strong Podcast in the places where you listen to your favorite podcast, or you can catch it right here on YouTube. We're trying to post up a little bit more, but we'll probably do it in 2-week intervals. So just look out for that. And we have a lot coming up, right? We're going to be interviewing people that have stayed in the neighborhood of Allendale, outside of Allendale, because now we're talking about Shreveport. And then we're even going to start talking to people on a nationwide basis, right? Look out for us, but also look out more for the study guide. We're trying to make this a large, nationwide learning and doing community. And we're going to let you know what we're reading, what we're studying, what we're trying to understand. So when we bring the fight for the people to the large industrial complex, a large interstate industrial complex, that we know what we're talking about, right? Because we're not the first, and we definitely will not be the last. So thank you, and get to studying. Let's go.